Well, Brad, Jack Zeeble, can we start with? Are you confident he's going to play?
I'll be more confident after he completes his fitness test probably tomorrow, so we'll give him every opportunity, and the way he's recovered we're really optimistic. So if he gets through the very small steps he's got to take today, we'll name him in the side. We don't have to finalise our squad until Friday, so we'll test him some stage Friday, and then if he's fit we'll name him, if not we'll take him out.
How about that, Brad? What do you do?
Oh, look, the doctors and the sports science guys have got some pretty specific tests around lung function, and look, I mean, he's actually feeling terrific. He feels like he could play today, but we've got to make sure his lung function's right and that there's no risk. So there's some pretty specific physiological tests that he'll undertake.
So it's not like a crash and bash session, as you would with bruised ribs or something like that. You hit him a few times and see how he goes.
No, we're not interested in making. If there is a problem, making it worse. So we're a lot more scientific these days than that. The lung function tests will give us, and the CT scan will give us the information we need.
Are you tempted to err on the side of caution by the sounds of it, or?
No, not at all. I mean, it's going to be really cut and dried, I think. This is not going to be one where we think, maybe he could, maybe he couldn't. He'll either be right or he won't.
How about Daniel Wells? How's he looking?
Yeah, again, he'll train today and do a bit of a lighter session with a view to a fitness test later in the week.
Jamie McMillan?
Yeah, Jamie will train again. I mean, we think he'll be fine, but again, you've mentioned 3 guys there, so we've got to make sure that they're right. We're not going to take guys in who are not quite right and take a risk. They'll either be right or they won't.
Is there ever a good time to play Geelong in Geelong? I mean, Bartel out, the cloud over a couple of others. Is this maybe that time?
Oh, I wouldn't. I watched the game last week like a lot of people did. I wouldn't think that playing Geelong this week we'd have any more confidence than any other week. I mean, that win against the Gold Coast was full of merit, and it was full of courage, and it was full of character. So I think that Geelong, the discussions around their death have been premature. They're still a very formidable side with formidable players, and more importantly, they're a club with great character and great pride. So we expect a very, very fierce contest.
That said, several veterans are missing, and it's been a while since you have been won down at Geelong. Is it still a daunting visit?
Yeah, it's been a while since a lot of teams have won down there. But I mean, look, they've been a team in transition for quite a while. I admire the way they've been able to lose so many greats of their club and transition some young guys through. So, they're like a lot of teams. They're in a state of flux, but I think the talent that they've brought in has been, pretty significant. So there's still going to be a challenge.
How much was the last couple of minutes last week and emphasised in the review this week?
Probably just as much as some things that cost us in the first half as well. So we had some really specific themes that we covered, and we'll work on those today. And it was disappointing to lose last week, obviously, but I think if we bring that level of effort as a baseline, we're going to win more games than we lose.
Some people have said it's as simple as stopping Joel Selwood. You stop Geelong. Surely is that the mindset you take in?
Yeah, Harry Taylor might disagree with that. I reckon Tom Hawkins disagrees. Mitch Clark definitely would. Cam Guthrie would as well. So I think that's disrespectful to the rest of the Geelong side. There's no doubt he's a great of our competition, but there'll be 21 other very good Geelong players out there on the weekend.
Can I ask you about the trade period? Damien Hardwick this morning said that he's in favour of extending the trade period till May 30. So you've got opportunities to fix holes in your list or whatever else, and says there's a few other coaches out there that are in favour of something similar. Are you one of them?
I haven't done enough analysis on that because I'm not as strong as Damien is on it. I think that you plan your list, and we do an enormous amount of work to plan for contingencies throughout the year. And I think that when you get injuries or you go in a little bit short on one position, to think that you can replace it mid-year, would probably frustrate the second tier of the competition enormously, because other clubs at the lower level will be losing players. But I'm all for player movement, particularly players who are not getting an opportunity at a club. If they can get an opportunity at a different club at AFL level, then that's good for them. So I think player movement needs to be looked at, but I need to do some more work on a mid-season draft and whether we need one. So I'm not really qualified to speak about it yet.
Damien says the players have a bit too much power. Is that the case?
I think they should have power. I mean, I think that we all agree with the draft system where players enter a national draft and they go where they're recruited. But after that, I think there's there's an element that says, players should be able to dictate to a certain extent where they play, as long as that fits into the greater realm of equalisation. And at the moment, it just seems to be, there have been some examples at the moment when players declare they want to leave and they declare their destination of choice, they generally get there.
What do you have to do well to beat a side like Geelong?
Everything. Oh, well, I don't mean to be flippant, Bruce, but we need to win the ball in the contest. And you mentioned Selwood and some of the other players they've got, but I think that that's going to be where the game's won and lost. Probably no different to any other week. And they're key forwards, and mid forwards like Motlop are pretty dangerous. So, if we're not winning the ball, it's going to be hard to contain them.
There's been some talk in recent weeks about the poor goal kicking of Travis Cloak and Levi Casbolt. Lindsay Thomas is one guy on your side who's really improved from where he was, say, 4 years ago. What was the process in terms of working through all that?
I don't have long enough in this press conference to talk about the process to turning Lindsay around, but the person who should take most of the credit is Lindsay himself. I mean, there's no secret. It was an enormous amount of work with Lindsay, and that's not to say that Casbolt and Cloak aren't doing massive amounts of work. There are clearly some technical things that Lindsay worked on, but mostly it was just about getting his confidence back in front of goal, and the only way you build confidence is through positive performance and positive training on the track.
Brad, Scott Thompson got in a bit of trouble last week for holding Jay Schultz. Have you sought clarification from the AFL at all about that rule and anything like that?
No, I just worked with Scotty on the technique. It was pretty obvious why he was free kicked. People can argue the merits of whether it was a free kick or not, or who was holding who, but we can only control what Scotty does, and we'll continue to work with him on the technique there. I don't get involved with the umpires. I mean, unless it's something that I think is going to affect us in future weeks, which I don't think this will.
Have you looked at the semi-finals in the last year match in the lead-up?
No, I think footy changes too quickly for that, even though it was probably only a few AFL games ago. It seems like an eternity ago, and Geelong have changed and we've changed as well.
Thanks, Brad.
Appreciate it.